Hi my muddy people, welcome back. I'm Nat at Mud Magic. Thank you for joining me again. So this video goes out to Emily on YouTube. She asked me if I could do a video on how to apply the underglaze transfers. So I thought, well, I actually had already planned to do this on this bowl. So I thought, well, I replied to her and said, well, okay, I'll video it. I wasn't planning to, but you know. So actually, Trace said to me, oh, that bowl would be really nice with transfers inside because she's really good at applying them. So I thought, well, I keep telling her what to do on her bowls and how to glaze them, so I better do what she told me to do. So I had planned to do this. So I've decided on this bowl to put these little bunnies. I'm so in love with them. It's a new transfer from Sanbao. And so I've already cut out the little bunnies, as you can see. So you don't have to use a whole sheet with the transfers. You can just cut out pieces that you want to use or that you like. And then I'm also considering, I haven't decided yet, but I'll decide later, that I might also add some of these little rainbows that I have from Sanbao as well. So 99% of my transfers are Sanbao because I would love to get the Elan transfers, but they're too hard to get in Australia. So Trace and I tried to order some from Elan directly, and the shipping just for a few of those little tiny little sheets was like $90 US, which is like 120 Australian, like our exchange rate's so bad. So no. So when we ordered from Sanbao, I think it was like $20. Postage from America, which wasn't too bad, and because we could split it between the two of us, so that was okay. So talking about that, so all that it is, it's just rice paper, really thin rice paper, and then they print the underglaze transfers, so they're just underglaze onto the paper. So if you're a child of the 70s or 80s like me, you will already know how to do this because all of us wore temporary tattoos, which probably led to my addiction, I don't know. But it's exactly the same principle. You put them face down, you add water, you peel them off. It's really easy. The only downside is sometimes the underglaze doesn't transfer and it can be a bit patchy, so you've got to kind of peel off slowly and try and fix that where you can. So I've got a couple of examples here. So the reason that I think that she asked was my last video, I did this one, which is the strawberries. So all I do, like the platters are easy because they're flat. So I just lay the transfer on top, draw around with a Sharpie or a pen or something, and then cut it out. And then these I just cut out individually like I have with the bunnies today. And then you just put it face down and put water and peel it off. So I definitely recommend putting transfers on at greenware. You can put them on at bisqueware, and I have done that, but it's a lot harder because the bisque is a lot drier, whereas your greenware's still got some moisture in it. And when you dab the water on the outside, the greenware seems to soak the underglaze up a lot better. And also, if you don't like it, the thing I love about transfers, if you don't like it, get a white sponge and wipe it off and start again, and it comes completely off. So if you smudge it or something, you can wipe it off and start again. And the transfers are all repeated patterns, so you can always find your same little bunny or your same little whatever, butterfly or whatever on the sheet. So yeah, so that's all I did. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So then I underglaze them at greenware, then I bisque them, and then you put your clear over. Only put just the really thin coats of clear. If you put too much, it muddies them, they go milky. But also, after you get them out from bisque, you think, oh, they've been bisque, they'll be okay. No, they still smudge. You can't really wipe over them with a sponge to get the dust off. I just kind of try and brush it off with a paintbrush or something. Just do your best. But you can see on here, I don't know if you can see, where was it? I did around here, I did sort of smudge it a bit at bisque. It was worse than that. So I just got my little white sponge, which is good because it's quite thin, and I kind of went in between and tried to sort of wipe off as much as I could, and I got most of it, so it's all right. So that's that one. And then this was another one in the last unloading that maybe that was the one that Emily liked. I'm not sure, but I've just put, because this is deep sea and it's quite dark, it's a bit hard to see the transfer, but that's a black transfer. So that one is, I've got a whole sheet of borders, which I quite like, which is here. So what you can do as well, so all these different borders. So you can obviously, like I just held them up on the bowl and picked the one that I liked. And then obviously any bits that you have left over, you just keep them. Even if you've just got one little bunny left, you know, keep it, because you might want to put it on the base of a bowl or something. Like I've got one little strawberry left. But the strawberry, this shows you quite well, because I've only used it pretty much for that bowl, how I've got this circle, kind of a circle. You can see where I cut out the circle for the platter. So yeah, so that's all I do. So with the strawberries, I just cut them, I just cut the transfer sheet. I didn't care that on the edge there you've got half strawberries and half leaves inside there. I didn't mind that. But with the bunnies, I wouldn't decapitate bunnies. So it depends on what transfer you're using. So then this platter, which is going to Mum, I also did just the one, again, put it in, drew round with a Sharpie and cut it out, draw on the back of the sheet so when you put it on, it doesn't go through. I don't think it would matter because it's supposed to burn off in the kiln, but I just don't. I just do that. And then I brought this one down to show you, because this is where it goes milky. So if you can see on there, I put too much clear or too thick clear. And so the transfer's gone milky in the middle there. So you just have to be careful just to do two very thin coats of clear. This one I brought down because I just love it. So just a little blue. And you can see, you know, how, you know, Trace is minimalist. This is one of mine, but I did it more minimalist and it's so effective. Well, I think it is. I love it. And then I also love, so you have this little bowl or any bowl and you think, oh yeah, you know, it's just a plain little bowl, and then you can put them on the base. And I think that's a really cute idea, because if you gift that or somebody buys it or whatever, and then they don't look at the bottom, because quite often, unless you're a potter, you don't look at the bottom. When you get home and you go to wash it up and you turn it over and it's like a little surprise. And also if you do that on a mug, just if you happen to put a foot on a mug, when you tip up to drink, the people that you're there talking with will see the little transfer on the bottom. And this one I brought down just because I love it. This is my favourite mug. I use this every day. And I just put, so they're different transfers. So you've got the, I've got a whole heap of the dream catchers, and then butterflies are a different transfer. So I did those. I love those. And I did my MKM roller on the handle. So they are, so that's these ones. I didn't get the butterflies out, but they're similar. So there's a whole sheet of all different, and again, they're repeated. So if you want to use the same one, or if you make a mistake, you can wash it off and start again. So I've already cut out and laid out my bunnies so that you didn't have to watch me cutting. But I also kept this little scrap, because on the corners, they often put these little corners. I don't know, I guess it's something to do with the printing machines. And they also often have like Chinese symbols written across, or even Sanbao or whatever written across. Make sure you always cut them out completely. Don't even leave a little bit, because they are underglazed and they will go onto your pot as well. So make sure you cut that off. So I've cut out the little bunnies that I wanted, and I've just kind of placed them in my bowl face down, because you're putting them on face down. So the way that you look at them on the sheet is how they'll end up, because you're reversing them. Then you just get a damp sponge, not too dry, but you don't want it drippy and kind of running everywhere. And then you literally just blob it on. So just, once you've done this to all of them, then they're stuck there. So you kind of just hold it and blob it in. and then they're on. So once you've done this, you can lift it up and have a better look at it, because they're stuck on with the water. So as you can see as well, I'm patting, I'm not rubbing. If you rub, you'll smudge the underglaze. Even though it's on the other side of the paper, it will smudge. I have some skulls. You would have seen the bowl that I did with the red splatters and the white skulls that came out silver. And that, because they were white, it was really hard to tell the right and the wrong side of the paper. So I put some of them down the wrong way around. So when I was putting the sponge on, all the underglaze came off on the sponge. So I had to ditch them because I'd already wiped it off onto the sponge and start again. But again, I had the duplicated ones on the sheet. So I just go over them a few times. So now that I've done that, I can lift it up and show you. So I just keep going back over. Doesn't take very long. And then I've heard people say that they use dentist pick tools, but I have, and I'm actually dobbing myself in here because I know she'll be watching. I have Tracy's Cricut machine tool. Sorry, Trace, I haven't told her because it's so good for this, and I think she has another one at home. It's a little Cricut, what they call a weeding tool. So when you've put your thing through the Cricut and it's cut your design out, you weed it out and you do this. So it's really good to get into the edge of your tattoo, the little, not tattoo, I'm obsessed, the little transfer, lift the paper up and pull it off. With this one, I've got quite a fair bit of paper around the edge, so it's not so hard, but some of them, they print the patterns really close to each other, and so it can be really hard to cut out because you've got to cut really close. And then once you've applied it onto your greenware, it can be really hard to get the edge of the paper up. So that works. And it looks, to me, it actually looks like a dental pick. So I can see why they say the dental picks in, because they're so sharp at the point. So I guess I'm going to have to return Tracy's weeding tool when I see her next. Hi, Trace, love ya. But I mean, you can get anywhere they sell the Cricut machines, you can get the weeding tools. So she's actually named her, we love to name things. This is Stevie the Wonder Wheel. And, Freddie Mercury, everyone knows Mo Killen's Freddie Mercury. So she called the Cricut machine Jiminy, because Jiminy Cricket, why not? And he's even got a little Cricut sticker of Jiminy on him. So that's about it. So then you can get one of these rubber ribs, quite a bendy one, because you can get into your corners of bowls and things. Again, make sure your hands are dry. And you can kind of push it. Again, try not to, you can rub it a bit, but try not to rub it too much. But this kind of like just flattens out your paper. If you've got any spots that you've missed, and I just smeared his foot. That's good, actually, I can show you. You got any spots that you missed, it might push it on, but it flattens out your paper. So somehow I must have had a drip of water still on my hand. I'll see when I pull him off, so that'll be interesting. His foot in the bottom, you can see I've actually smudged it. So again, if it's bad, I'll just wipe him off. I'll just cut out more and just do just that section. So I won't even use Jack Trace's little thing, because I can get to that. And then you can slowly, if you can see, slowly peel him off and watch, because just say there was a bit missing, I can push it back up because the bottom's still attached. It'll still be in place, and then I can get my sponge and push on, or even you can even wet your finger and dab on. Again, don't rub it, and then just pull it off. And that's it. And you can see it's a lot, what's the word, like paler on there now, because it's transferred onto here as to what it was. And now he's on the bowl. And then, as I say, you can go back and wash him off completely. It will just completely come off if you're not happy with his where he's sitting, or if he's, like I smudged the bottom one, whatever, and start again. And because of that, you want to be careful now when I'm doing this, if I'm going over them like that, not to touch him because he doesn't have the protective paper on him. So just peel him off. There you go. And he's kind of gone. So you can't reuse them. It's all, the transfer's all gone. So you don't, there's no hard and fast rule as to how much you have to do. So that one's a little bit flatter. So you can just put that under, grab the corner and pull him off. And now the last one, the one in the middle with his smudgy foot. I've got a feeling I'm going to be rubbing him off. But let's see. I don't know if you can see in there. Let's do the big reveal. See what his foot does. So we can see. Yeah. So he's got one really dark foot. So I'll have a look and decide if I want to rub him off. Actually, I will, looking down it, I will. So I'll just show you actually. So again, because I try not to rub the little chickens off around, I try and just rub him off. But you don't want to just rub off his foot because, you know, it'd be too hard to line it up. So as you can see, have I got that on the right angle? As I'm washing him, seeing I've got drips on my fingers, little drips, so you've got to really wipe your hands. So it's all coming off. And again, this is much easier to do at greenware because your clay is going a little bit wet again too. So at bisque, this would be so much harder to do at bisque because the clay is kind of coming over it as well. So you can just keep touching up, touching up, touching up. And you can do this on old piece, you know, or if you apply it and you just don't like it at all, you can do the whole thing. And then I'll go back and I'll have a look at the little rainbows and see if I want to dot some rainbows around, or maybe I'll put the rainbows on the outside. See, I just got a bit of water there, but luckily it wasn't on the transfer. So yeah, so that's it. It's pretty easy. So that was actually a happy mistake because I was able to show you how easy. See, he's gone. So now I'll find him again and cut him out, find him on my sheet, cut him out, place him down in the middle there, and he'll be back on and nobody but you and I will know that ever happened. And then I'll let that get to bone dry. So I suggest doing it anywhere from a dry leather hard, right? That's a sort of a dry leather hard. It's not bone dry yet. Through to bone dry. You can even do it at bone dry. It's fine because it still reconstitutes the clay a little bit. Or bisqueware. Sometimes you don't know until bisque what you want to do because you might be glazing the outside and you might go, oh, I'm going to put a little transfer in the base of the bowl. And so, you know, that's still fine. It's just not as easy and it doesn't transfer as easily. You need to bit more water and dob it a bit more. But that's my little tips and tricks. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got something out of it. Thank you again for watching. Stay muddy and have a magic day. And thanks, Emily. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye.